Welcome to Women of the World, a show which gives voice to women from around the world who have chosen to make the United States their home. Hosting today's episode is Janga.
Hello, welcome all to the first premiering episode of Women of the World show. I'm Janga, and I'm excited to be here to bring all the voices of the women around the world. And let me first start the show by introducing our hosts. They'll be introducing their names. Hi.
Hi, Uma. My name is Amalia Moreno-Damgaard.
Welcome to the show.
Hi, Uma. My name is Fadia Thabet.
Welcome to the show.
Hi, I'm Melissa Nambangi, and I run the Minnesota African Women's Association here in the Twin Cities.
Welcome to the show. Thanks for being here. Now, okay, since this is our first show, let me just start introducing ourselves and a little bit more. Like, we're going to talk, each of us are going to tell about ourselves for like few minutes of where did we come from, why did we come to US, and what made us to stay here, and what are the challenges. They might talk about that too. So let me start with myself first. I'm Janga again. I'm coming from southern part of India. I did my college and education, everything there back in India, and I got married and then came to US. Mine is an arranged marriage. I never thought I would come to US being in India. My parents, they looked for the bridegroom, and it was all just fully arranged, and I came here with so much excitement and nervousness too, because I didn't even know where I'm going. I never been to US before, so it was like a 24-hour flight first, and I'm like, my gosh, is this long flight? And I came here, and first of all, first challenge I faced, I can say, is the language, accent. First of all, I didn't even understand what others were talking about. Even though I had English as my second language there back in India, it was like it was not the same accent. We used to have a different accent. We never even used to talk in English to other people there. We talk our own mother tongue language there, so it was very hard for me to understand the accent first. Sometimes I even never used to go even to the store or anywhere else because I was scared. If they asked something, I wouldn't be able to answer. And then came the cultural differences too. So the culture is very different. It's not that bad or good or anything. It's just that so different from where I am brought up. I was brought up in a very conservative society, like, going to the college or going to school, come back home after 6 o'clock, no going out. Like, I was brought up in such a conservative society. Now it has changed, but when I was there, it was like very hard. It was very different. So when I came here, I saw the freedom that the kids are having here, and I felt like, oh my gosh, this is quite a different world. Particularly, first of all, my husband, I didn't know him at all. I just, like, March 1st, I met him, and March 7th, I got married. Think about how much I know about him. So he was a new person to me, and more than that, new country, new people, even the food. I'm a pure vegetarian, so it was hard for me. When I came here, hardly there were vegetarian restaurants too for me to eat, so it was like so different. Everything was different, but I started to enjoy the differences too as gradually years came by. And after now, my kid is a teenager now, and the one thing that really is a huge difference is about the dating. It's like my daughter is like, okay, Mom, there's nothing wrong in that, talking to a boy and going out with him. No, I didn't grow up like that, so it was hard. It's still hard for me to assimilate that, but I'm liking that too. So it's like a challenges that I'm facing every day, all the new things. It's for good, I believe. So I'm enjoying. That's my life. I'm keeping it going, and I just like the people here. They are so welcoming. So in orders, I've been able to stay here this long too. I've been here for many years, so I'm so thankful to the people here. So, okay, so that's my story, and I have 2 kids, and I have a wonderful husband and a dog. I love my dog. And okay, that's me. And I work in, maybe I can say, but I work in US Bank as a mortgage officer, and that's my routine every day. And my hobbies are listening to music, and I have my own singing group too. So I enjoy performing with them too outside, and that's where I just live my life. Thank you so much for listening to my story. And now let me introduce, let me get back to Amalia. Let her tell when did she come and what are the challenges she's facing in US. So you just go ahead, Amalia. It's up to you.
Thank you, Uma. I was born and raised in Guatemala City, and my passion for food and Latin culture arose from my time growing up in Guatemala and from my close-knit relationship with my maternal grandmother.
Okay.
She inspired me to not only eat healthy, but to cook healthy.
That's true.
She was an artisan cook, and she was my initial mentor and my inspiration for what I do today. I came to the U.S. Back in 1981 to pursue higher education and better opportunities. And in doing so, I started a first career in international banking. And then at the same time, all while working full-time, I earned a BA in business administration and later a master's in international business and culture. And what I have been doing all this time in the U.S. Is that I've been really studying, I have been working, I got married in the process. I have a 17-year-old son, almost 18, who is going to the University of Minnesota. And I am also pursuing a second book. I wrote my first book, Amalia's Guatemalan Kitchen.
Oh, that's what I heard.
Gourmet
about
cuisine with a cultural flair. And my book has won 9 international awards.
Wow.
And
passion.
yes, I also co-founded a nonprofit organization called Women Entrepreneurs of Minnesota. And it's an organization that fosters women entrepreneurship through leadership education and mentoring. I'm also involved with boards. I've been serving on executive boards for a long time. I am currently serving on 2 nonprofit boards as well. And I have really done a lot of work in the community and helped them raise thousands of dollars through donation of my time and talent. And I also changed careers along the way and went back to school. And this time I went to Le Cordon Bleu to take my cooking to a professional level.
Wow.
And in doing so, I started a new business, and my new business is called Amalia, LLC.
Wow.
Latin gourmet with a cultural flair is my tagline. And within that, Amalia helps companies and individuals attain a better understanding and appreciation of Latin American cuisine and culture through consulting, education, bilingual speaking and writing, and healthy culinary experiences.
Oh, when did you feel like with the idea like of writing a book? Okay, some people have the passion, but they don't get into the step of, writing a book. Or what inspired you to write a book?
Good question. I've always had the desire to do so, and really my passion for not only cooking and writing really was fueled when I went to Le Cordon Bleu, because I already had a lot of the cooking from scratch, healthy cooking techniques that I learned through my grandmother, artisan cooking. But when I went to Le Cordon Bleu, my knowledge was elevated to a professional level. And that's when I felt that I acquired the skills to be able to write recipes in a professional way. And I already had the knowledge of the culture, and I continue to educate myself about food anthropology. And believe it or not, I know a lot more about my own country now than I did back when I lived in Guatemala. Living here has made me crave Guatemala more, and it's not only Guatemala, because I embrace all the Latin American countries because we have a lot of synergies.
That's exactly very true. Now, after I came back here, I realized, how many things I'm missing, back home. Like, oh my gosh, there's so many things we used to do that we are not able to do here. It's not they're both bad and good, but just that, you know, you miss certain things which you enjoyed a lot there too. You will value, I think you will give more value when you're outside the place of
Absolutely, you know, and everything I do, basically my business, my mission is to help bridge the knowledge gap of Latin American culture in the U.S. through education.
Thank you, Amalia. That was very interesting. Thank you so much for sharing.
You are welcome, Ma.
Okay, next we are going to introduce our next host, Trang Nguyen. But unfortunately, she couldn't be here due to some family events. But we're going to show a clip of her interview that we did, where she was talking about her life, why did she come to US, and some interesting facts about her life too. So let's take a look at the clip.
Trang, hi.
Hello, Nadia.
First, let me congratulate you for being chosen as one of 5 hosts for the new TV show Women of the World. What do you think about that?
Well, first, thank you for having me here today. Well, I get so exciting and be so lucky to get into the show. Well, I gotta say thank you.
It'll be fun to have you be a host on the show, and there's going to be a lot of exciting things going on. But for now, what we have is 5 minutes for you to give us a little bit of a background on how you came to America.
Well, I take back from 1975. That's how we came here during the wartime. So it's unexpected. We just happened to be here with my family.
So you came with your entire family, parents and everything?
Yes, with my parents and my sister and brother, one brother. And we just landed into Minnesota because we got a church sponsor. And from there, we just start living like the American dream.
That had to be pretty traumatic for a teenager, though, I would think.
Well, at 17 years old, yes, it's kind of, but it's harder for my parents.
Yeah.
It is harder for my parents, but for me, we just adapt really quick.
So you felt like you were pretty adaptable, and
I think so.
Yeah.
Me and my sister, we just act like, okay.
So that was in the middle of the Vietnam War? Is that when that was?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Technically, if that's the right word, how did it come about that you were even able to leave the country? I don't know much of the politics at the time, but how did that come about?
You know, it just happened. I mean, when you live in the country like that, the day we found out that, okay, you have to leave. And luckily we had my brother-in-law who was in the army service. So he came home and told us, okay, we all pack and leave. And we couldn't pack anything.
Yeah.
We just left.
Okay, so it was a sudden
Sudden decision.
and it was like, we have to leave.
We had to get out.
Okay.
Yeah, we had to get out.
So it wasn't just we want to leave and let's go to America.
Yeah.
We
and we
have
didn't
to
think
leave.
we'd go to America either.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we just left. They said, we said to go out to the island, somewhere out there, and we wait for a few days, they said. Then we come back. It never happened that way.
So you were just leaving temporarily
Yes,
to an
we thought.
island. That had to be, again, very traumatic for your parents, and then not to be able to even come back.
True. It's just scary. It is just not just us, and there's millions of people out there.
Yeah, there were a lot of other people. So then you got to America. What happened then?
Then we got the church sponsor out, and we start our new life again. You know, as a young girl, we are just so exciting. And we said, oh, are we lucky to get out of the country at the time?
Yeah.
And we're lucky to have the church sponsor that, you know, that care for us so much.
Yeah. So you felt grateful that
we
at least
feel
there was help
blessing.
doing it. Yeah.
Blessing, just compared to other people who die out at sea and died in the war during the time.
Did you speak English at the time, or did you learn after you got here?
Well, just like any high school, you know, they taught you second languages, and we did learn a lot of, but not speaking. We write and we read, but not talking.
Yeah.
But when we came here, it got funny.
Yeah.
You had to listen to people, and then we said, wonder what they say. And they talk too fast. And then again, they talk when you talk too fast, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's kind of different words.
So it sounded different than you expected it to sound.
True.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
Well, then, for your parents, did you ever get to go back to the original
Well,
town you lived in?
we didn't get to go back to the country for a long, long time after I got married. And then because the time when we came here, not easy to go back to visit the country.
Yeah.
So it took a long time for people to Red Cross or something, the country, you know.
Well, for years, I don't think anybody could. Am I right about that? Yeah.
No, nobody could.
Yeah.
But it's just, now these days, people can go back like tourists.
Yeah.
People have family there, they go back to visit. And especially New Year's, they come back for a celebration New Year.
Yeah, and seems like and I've known you for a few years, seems like since I've known you, you did go back. Was that your first time?
Yes.
Okay. So it was a long time before you had a chance to. Did you go back to your original town?
I did. It was beautiful town still, but it looked different now these days than I pictured, you know.
Yeah.
Let's go back to my home.
Yeah.
It was totally different.
Was the house still there?
Was the house still there?
Oh. Yeah.
But they're owned by 3 different families instead of our family alone before.
Oh.
It was fun to look into it, you know.
Yeah.
Brought back a lot of memories.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Come and knock to the door and ask the owner there, can we come in and visit?
Did they let you come in?
They did let us come in. Yeah, they did let us come in, and they just tell us that you can buy the house back for a different price. I mean,
Yeah,
of
the price
course.
would be different. Yeah.
But we just visit. But we thank him. You know.
Oh, wonderful. Well, Tran, thank you for telling your story today, at least a small piece of it. And we're going to see you soon on the set of the show.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here today too.
Oh, all right. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Welcome back. Oh, it was nice to see Trang, the clip. It was very interesting. It was nice to hear that she came to US during the Vietnamese War.
Yeah.
It was really very touchy. Okay, so now let's get to the other host, her Fadia Thabet.
Yes.
It's your turn now to tell us about why did you come here and what made you to choose to come to US.
Hi, Oman. Hi, everyone. I am Hubert Humphrey for 2015 and 2016 from Yemen. It's a program that's funded by State Department that we're targeting mid-career professional leaders in their home countries. I am here in the law school, University of Minnesota, with another 10 different leaders from different around the whole world. It took me 25 days to arrive here. I arrived August 2015.
Oh my.
Because of the conflict that erupted in Yemen on March 26. Back in Yemen, I used to work as a humanitarian worker. My work with the organization, it's called Danish Refugees Council and the UNICEF. My position was as a child protection officer with children affected by armed conflict. It's related a little bit to the Security Council Resolution 1612. I have a bachelor degree in computer engineer. I started my professional career. I volunteered to work in organizations as a computer engineer, and then there I met my mentor. She was the head of that organization, and she inspired me to work in the humanitarian field. Since that, I still working as a humanitarian field and all over Yemen. I was responsible for 7 governorates in Yemen to reporting about all the violations against children in the conflict. And I am interested here to focus on human rights in general, to trying also to deliver the voices that in Yemen to bring peace, and also to focusing on my master degree, to do master degree here in human rights.
Oh my God, that's really a courage. That needs a lot of courage to come from. You said it took 15 days for you to. 25 days. Sorry, 25 days for you to.
Yeah, because back there in Yemen, that time the situation was really bad. There was no way out that I can get out from the country. But I was so ambitious, and I've been applying for many scholarships in the past 3 years, from Australia to Canada to the US to Turkey to Malaysia. I was so ambitious to study abroad, and I got that chance in addition to another chances, one of them from UK and another from Sweden, but I took my decision to not leave my family behind, and then I decided to come to the US. So it was just like a long journey. I took the bus from a country to another, I crossed borders, and then I fly from a country to another. I got my visa from a different country, and I arrived to here.
Oh my God. But I heard that women over there or not given importance with respect to education. Is that right? Is that true?
Well, it depends about your environment and your family. My family is my biggest support for education. My parents,
That's good.
the only one who supported me, the only one who just all the time encouraged me to get study abroad. So I guess your family is the most important supporter for you.
So what made you to choose US? That's my curiosity here.
Well, yeah, this is the thing. So I got an acceptance from Sweden, but that was when the war erupted in April. But I just it was really hard for me to take the decision to leave my family behind. And I thought that the war just will be 3 months or 2 months, and never crossed my mind that it will just last more than a year. So I just I said maybe I will get another chance later. And then I got the US, another one. And I talked to my parents, and they said, I guess this is your time, so you have to fly, so you have to go for that. It was really hard time, because when I took this journey, nobody knows if I will just will be alive or death. So it was really hard. I had to cross landmines, dead bodies, and other things.
That needs a lot of courage, trust
Education,
me.
yeah. It's because of education. I'm so ambitious about my education.
So what are you planning to do in the future?
I'm going to be the human rights minister in my country, sooner or later, but I get that position. I'm sure that I will get that position.
Good luck with you.
Thank you.
It's very inspiring.
Yeah, I'm trying also as much as I can to inspire the girls in Yemen, because we have actually very limited education system, and I'm trying to deliver a message for those people that education is really important, and it's not about you girl, or just if we are boys or girls, we can get this message and we can get a higher education. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So is there any other friends that came along with you, or is this
No, I just by myself.
You just by yourself came here?
Yeah.
You know what? I should learn a lot from her. That's truly very, very touching. Thank you so much for sharing this.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah.
Good luck with your progress still.
Yes, thank you.
So what are you currently doing now then?
Actually the program is just only 10 months
Okay.
for non-professional career leaders. We're going to focus on human rights here in the US, the system. We're trying to implement and trying to take some models to implement it in our countries. So it's the other thing also, we build our capacity to be a better future leaders.
So how far have you reached your goal?
Well, the program will end in June 10th. So we're just we're almost there.
Oh my, it's there, you'll get there.
Yeah.
Trust me, yeah. You have that, what do you call that, courage, that ambition, that won't let you down, I'm sure. I can see that in you.
Thank you.
Good luck with your future
Thank you.
endeavors. And now let's get to the other final host here, Melissa.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
now you can just tell us about yourself.
Okay. All right. Like her, I came out here as a Hubert Humphrey Fellow.
Wow.
So that's really great. She's the current Humphrey Fellow. I am from 92, 93 group. But the stuff we learned there is just incredible. And you want to be minister, you will be. Because one of my Humphrey Fellow classmates is a minister in Senegal right now.
Wow.
So it does produce good professionals. Well, actually, I come from Cameroon, which is West Africa or Central Africa, which way you choose to look at it.
Okay.
I was the TV news anchor there, journalist by training.
Okay.
So I am quite well known to quite a few Cameroonians.
Okay.
I am actually a product of my father's ambition for his daughters. He insisted so much on making sure that the girls had as good a chance as boys, because that was not very common at the time. A lot of people tend to relegate girls to just a little education and then they stay home. But my father always said, I will prove that girls can be better than boys.
Isn't it nice to have
And he had
parents?
8 of us to prove that with. And well, my younger sister is a judge, so she went into law. And every other sister has at least a master's, so he really got what he wanted, and then the boys also did well.
Okay.
So that's the kind of man that produced me, and I ended up with a lot of his characteristics. So my mother always says, this girl has too much of her father in her, So a lot of things, the same type of passion he had for whatever he did is what I inherited. So as a TV news anchor, I kept on also producing programs but they were mainly for women and women's empowerment, and that's something I got from my mother. She's a very active women leader kind of person. And so I kept on doing that. And then when the Hubert Humphrey Fellowship was announced in the country, that's what I wanted to learn more about women's empowerment.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm the one who got that fellowship with one other journalist. So 2 of us came from Cameroon. And I was sent here to Minnesota, which I hadn't known was a state at the time.
Oh, yeah.
I had been to the U.S. briefly, and I didn't know all the states, and I actually did not know there was a state like Minnesota. But as soon as I was told you're going to Minnesota, somebody said, oh, that's the women's state. Minnesota is very nice to women. So I thought, well, that's nice to know. And that's how I ended up here and did the Hubert Humphrey year. I was very anxious to go home and continue with my profession as a journalist. But after doing the Hubert Humphrey program, and we were at the Hubert Humphrey Center, not the law school like you are.
Okay.
After doing that year, I went in for my graduate degree for a master's, because I thought I will not fly 20-something hours to come and just go with a diploma. I have to have a graduate degree. So I did that, and in the course of doing that, I was also teaching a course named Women in World Cultures. And I was beginning to see a lot of similarities in our issues, even though we came from different parts of the world,
very true.
our values. And so by the time I was done with that, my interest had moved to doing something to advance African women in Minnesota. And I was getting into meetings and groups where they were saying things like, well, we hear about African women, we don't see the African women. And I thought, wow, I need to show them the African women then. And that's how we started getting together, and we're meeting with a group of African women in an African women's network, and they also kept on pushing and asking me to please start something for African women. So we did.
Okay.
So we started the Minnesota African Women's Association, MAWA, which the name was mainly, we wanted that acronym because it sounds like such an African word. And truly every African woman who hears MAWA just thinks that must be an African group. It has meaning in so many different African languages. So we started MAWA, and we wanted to do some stuff with domestic violence because I was working at a shelter in that time. But the women started like, no, our daughters are having a tough time assimilating and getting accepted by their schoolmates and all of that. So please do something for the girls. And so we started the Girls Leadership Program. I think we are the only after-school program for African girls only. Since 2004, we've had that. We are in about 10 different schools and community sites across the Twin Cities, and we are open to all African girls. So they've got to know each other, and they've got to be doing stuff together, and that's exactly what we are working on at this time.
Oh, thank you so much, everyone, for sharing your wonderful stories. That was very interesting and fascinating and encouraging, too.
Yes.
It was fun.
Oh, yes, exactly. Thank you so much for being here with us today, and thank you so much for watching, and see you all next time in the Women of the World show.
There was the finger point.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know my kite right.
Yes, your first episode. That is great.
Good job. Good job.
Oh, thank you. I didn't know. I was like...